Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the online course Entrepreneurial Mindset from IBA Karachi Center for Entrepreneurial Development. We will be talking about the fourth principle, Crazy Quilt, today. The Crazy Quilt Principle talks about collaboration, team building, to collaborate, to collect, to organize, to make a team. It's just like the symbol, this is the quilt. Quilt is a combination of various patches and pieces of cloths of various sizes, shapes, and colors, which are joined together to make a make a quilt. And we'll try to understand that how do we focus on partnerships rather than competition. So before we go into details, let's have a background. The entrepreneurial journey is always adventurous. It's full of unknowns, surprises, and many surprises and challenges are coming on the way. Keeping in view, it is recommended to be open to collaboration, to have a mindset which is willing to collaborate. This needs a person to be pleasant, forthcoming, smiling, open to listen, and open to learn. And this requires a person to be humble, because the humble you are, the more you consider yourself to be a learner. The more open you are, the more you can learn. That's why one of our professor, Tom DeLong from Harvard, he used to say, never tell your students, I know more than you. I know more than you. Tell them, I love my subject. I'm a student of my subject. Oh, my students, let's work together and try to understand this together. Maybe there's someone smarter than you in the class. So this mindset of learning is very important. So we will try to understand this in detail. First of all, let's try to understand how does the causal model operate, and what do we mean by the quilt in effectual model. In the causal model, uh, if the collaboration is not that much, encouraged. The causal model is like the jigsaw puzzle. And the causal entrepreneur, what does he do? He scans the environment for opportunities. He looks at opportunities. He's finding a goal. What can be done? This is the goal. This is what can be achieved, which can give me more returns. And if I can find a gap in the marketplace. And first of all, you look at the goal, and then you look at the means, and then you try to fulfill that goal. This is the causal model. This example can be explained from the jigsaw puzzle. So in this puzzle, we do experiments here during our course that we give students of a group of 6 to 7 people. Each group is given a puzzle. So they are supposed to make this puzzle in like half an hour. They're given a goal, they're given a picture is given, gentlemen, make this picture, make this puzzle according to this picture. So these people, what they do is they're given half an hour. They have a goal, and they have the means, this and the means, their brains and their hands. So they start using it. They use their means in a structured way to reach this goal. This seems to be very good, but what happens is after 15, 20, 30, 15, 20 minutes, the initial enthusiasm fades down, and many people start getting bored, and they start becoming free riders. Only few people start retain their interest, and people think it is too monotonous, it's too boring, it's too mechanical, it's just finding and placing these blocks together is too childish. There is no innovation and creativity. So, and what happens is the enthusiasm and the binding of the team gets fizzled. So this is what's in a traditional causal model, the teams are formed. You need to understand what happens with the teams in the causal model, the model which is being taught in the universities, most of them. And in the effectual model, the story becomes different. In this case, we don't give them a goal. We say, hey gentlemen, no, you have to make your own goal. You need to start with your own means. First of all, in this case, Students are, every student is given 7 pieces of these plots, and one student, and like their 7 students are given 7 pieces each. So this is station 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then the remaining people are brought in, and they're also given 7 pieces each, and they're asked to join any group. This one, they can join anyone on their own. So they try to see the person, his idea, they talk to him, and then he or she joins that group based on their own willingness. There's no compulsion. So when they join with him, for example, this person joins this group, and he's making something like this. He started from a corner. So the second person comes with his 7 pieces. So these 7 and these 7 join together. So what happens is the bird in hand increases, and they discuss and they try to think and reflect, and they come up with a design. And then a third person comes. He brings his 7 pieces. So he brings his ideas, his bird in hand, his thoughts. So in this case, as the number of people start coming in, as the means start coming in, as the ideas start coming in, the idea starts and keeps on evolving. And at the end of the exercise, every group has something very, very interesting, which they could have never previsioned. So in this case, there's no free riding issue. Everybody is excited. This 30 minutes is full of excitement, full of collaboration, full of you see innovation, creativity, and people love it. Why? Effectual reasoning is more like stitching together a patchwork quilt. According to the poet, अपनी दुनिया आप पैदा कर अगर जिंदों में है. Create your own world if you are a living person in a growing network of self-selected stakeholders. So these people join based on their own liking, self-selection. They selected themselves to be part of this group. So when they self-selected, each of them invests only what he can afford to lose. And each of these partially shape what the new ensuing new venture and new market will turn out to be. So the design of this is dependent on the first person, what he has, the colors and the shapes, and then the second person, who he is, how he thinks, and his resources, and so on and so forth. So this design can never be replicated again, and this will be a unique, idiosyncratic model. So if you go to the next slide, effectual reasoning focuses on building partnerships. So in this model, each one values others because they're thinking that he's special, he's unique, rather than going into competitive analysis. There are more chances towards this side. The Quilt principle dovetails very well with affordable loss. Because if this person has 7 pieces and he has $100 to lose, and this person has $100 to lose, together they have $200 to lose. So now they can experiment with $200. So as the Quilt principle applies, the affordable loss increases. Similarly, when the Quilt principle goes up, the ability to deal with surprises gets better. The same person is he can only, he doesn't have any transport. The other person comes with a motorcycle. Now this person, and as he combines with this person, so his ability to move and go to the main market has increased. Now the third person comes in who has network in that market, and with that network he can easily access at a lower cost. So these three people, as they got together, the ability to deal with surprises has gone better. So Quilt principle impacts lemonade principle, and the entrepreneurs are not wedded to any particular market. For the idea, the expanding network of partnerships enables them to think about more markets, bigger markets, and eventually they are able to see more ideas and more markets. Many examples. So one of our friend in Karachi, Mr. Mahmood, who was a painter, who was working in a power plant, and he was making less money. And one day he had a big family. They were thinking what to do. The idea came that the mother can cook a special dish called halim, and the wife can help. and the brothers can help in setting a small stand on the street, and all together they made the quilt. And this quilt was, everybody was bringing something unique and interesting, and everybody brought something in, and eventually he ended up into a small shop on the street, a rented shop, a big shop, a owned shop, a very big hotel, multiple hotels. A millionaire comes into being. That is the quilt principle. Sam's Cake Factory, this lady living in Jeddah, she purchased a cake for her kids' birthday, and the cake was not good. She said, hey, what to do? She went to YouTube, saw the recipe, bought the ingredients, and made it, shared it with their neighbors. They liked it, they ordered her. She made it for free. She got further training, became more professional, and she started charging, did a 3 days course from Dubai. She came to Pakistan, and her passion grew, and she started selling. The father in law sees that the kitchen is small, so he offers his empty house, and here you go. That quilt made her grow and expand. Roxanne Kumbi, we saw a bird. Bird was his her quilt, and then her kids. We saw the welfare moms coming in, and many other people. The telephone drugstore owner brought the telephone. So the quilt kept on growing. Freitag brothers, two brothers in Switzerland, and their problem was when they used to travel on bike, more a bicycle, their handbag which contained books used to get wet because of the humidity and water in the air. So one day they were sitting in the lounge and they saw a truck with a tarpaulin. They said, hey, why don't we get that tarpaulin? They went to the old market, seat belts, tarpaulin, they made a bag with the help of their mom, sold it through friends and networks, and that quilt helped them to become $1 million. Buland Fashion is a story of our religious scholar in Karachi. He graduated from a religious institution. He had no marketing and money making skills. He came to the course and he found out that his brothers had a shop, and in a market they were selling cloth, but they were not selling kids cloths. So he asked them to for a small corner in one side. He put baby cloths there, and in few hours he was able to sell few. So with the help of his father, the advice of his father, brothers, and friends, he started, and he is running a sustainable business. So the quilt, cooperative mindset. So with this, I would like to end this session, that collaboration, the mindset of helping each other, mindset of learning from each other, mindset of help and being helped, sharing and to be shared. That helps you to find new avenues. Looking forward to see you in another episode. Thank you.